All right, thanks for joining us for another Spin That Shit podcast. Today we have a great band on here today. We are joined by Chris and Elliot of Volk. They been putting in the work, putting in the time. They just released their new album called Cashville. Check it out. They're streaming it. They got vinyls for sale. Actually, I think they're sold out currently of the first pressing. But great band. Really recommend seeing them live. They're based out of Nashville currently. So we're going to talk to them, get the scoop. And like always, we want to tell you to subscribe, ring the bell, share with your friends, and tell your mom, and whatever you can to help support the podcast and help us grow. So things are looking good. Let's go talk to the band. All right, we got Volk with us. Thanks for joining us. We're going to be
Hey, hi.
We're going to be picking your brain and talking about Cashville, the new record.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Great job, by the way.
Thank you.
I've been playing it nonstop at work, so
Sweet.
I almost have every lyric memorized. So I'm going to be joining you on stage.
Good.
Sweet. It's like, all right, you take over. You take over, buddy. You take over. I'm gonna go sit down for a while. I'm really tired.
Tag out.
Tag out. You got this. Just press the buttons on the board. Or something cool will happen, maybe.
So can you guys give us a little background of where you're from, what influenced you, and how you got to be where you are now in the music biz?
Totally. I'm from California. I'm from Southern California, and Chris is from East Texas. And I'll let you get to that, Chris, eventually. But I don't know. I grew up listening to incredible songwriters, a lot of like Beatles, Cat Stevens, early stuff. My mom's a huge Tom Waits fan, so Tom Waits was always in the mix. Just funky good music. And then I graduated to rock music myself. I was a huge Jet fan when I was like, I don't know, 12.
Oh, really?
And that was just, led to everything, led to Wolf Mother, led to the classics, AC/DC, and just kind of deep dive into like loud ass rock music. And I don't know, that's kind of where I've always sat. I mean, I do love Chris and I just love good songs. So that could venture into like, early country, Hank Williams, Terrence Van Sant, those icons, Guy Clark. But I also love like currents like Gillian Welch is one of my huge influences, just like songwriting wise. So that's kind of like Volk, I feel like, is this huge love for rock and then this huge love for just like, perfect songs like Dublin Blues. But speak to your Texas side, Chris, because
Well, I mean, I kind of the opposite because I came to music through rock music. And playing loud rock music or things like that, because my school of music was just my brother driving me back and forth from parent to parent in East Texas, so a 45-minute drive, and we're blasting Anthrax and Pantera and everything like Led Zeppelin, Gwar, anything like that. My brother was influenced at that time, and then it would like get into like stuff like Peter Gabriel, and more melodic, experimental stuff. And then I just remember vividly the two CDs that were in my dad's truck at all times were Tom Petty's like greatest hits and the Police as well. So it's just like, and very influenced by good songwriting, but very much more on the pop song stuff. And I started playing guitar like probably most kids in the early 90s because of Kurt Cobain. Quit guitar classes as soon as I had those 4-bar chords. I was like, I'm out. That's all I needed to know. Eventually later became obsessed with bands like Tool and Rage Against the Machine. And then I guess later, because I think it was just a rejection of growing up in East Texas and having an idea of what country music is there, or at least in the 90s and 2000s and whatever the hell they want to call country music now. I rejected those kind of things like William Whalen, kind of just bunched them into things. And then actually, as I left Texas and lived other places, I kind of like went back to those guys. And first was like, my first entry was like Steve Earle, like earlier Steve Earle. So, you know, like not that far of a stretch from rock music to country and songwriting. And then that got me into Townsend Sant and Guy Clark. Guys like Gregory Anna, Isaac Hoff was huge influence on me when I was like, I want to do music. That's all I've ever really wanted to do, but I can't find a band to play with. So I better learn how to write songs. And that was the guy who I studied a lot. And now just kind of all the board, as Elliot said, like, you know, we will be listening to Gillian Welch 1 second, and then we'll be listening to Robin in the next second, just because like we love great songwriting, but we also love greatly composed songs. We love tones. We love synths.
That's like a lot of our conversation as a band, to be honest, and specifically as a duo, is how to arrange, you know, because it's all kind of about the balance. And I think it always is, you know, of course, like we've all been to those concerts where we're watching 4 people play and we're like, man, you all need a lesson on dynamics. 2 of you have the same tone.
Oh no, there are 2 guitar players. This is gonna be a mess.
So I think, you know, all bands have that discussion, but somehow I feel like that's almost the entirety of our discussion, whether we've written the song together or individually. It turns into a giant talk about arrangement. But, you know, I mean, we started our band, we both used to live abroad, and that's how we met, playing open mics in Berlin. And we were there for a couple of years, and then I sort of started learning the drums, partially through our time in Berlin, and came back here and started touring, and the rest is sort of history, feels like history. Finally released this freaking album. Only took us 6 years.
Now we are fully prepared to sell out. So
yes.
Anybody listening to the podcast, you
we'll
want
accept your offer.
Coca-Cola, I know you're listening. You can totally use these songs. Give me money now, I'm tired.
100%.
During the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Yes.
Go for it. I don't care. It's a paycheck.
We got 2 comments and a question. First, on the way, once I get back on the road, I'm putting that first Jet album on. Forgot how great that is.
We just listened to Get Born. Didn't I play that on the road?
So classic. It's a good road trip.
Yeah.
Heartworn Highways. I'm sure you've seen that with all the guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. And I guess that was going to be my question, but you already answered it. In Berlin. So how did you guys end up linking up? Maybe a little more detail on that. What drew you guys to each other, I guess?
Yeah, that's a great
Desperation.
question. Man, Chris smells just about as desperate as me.
For me, it was this. I was teaching. I'd been teaching almost a decade by that point. I'd gone to Berlin to teach, but I was like pretty over it.
Which is an understatement.
I was entering my 30s, and I was just like, this is not what I want to be doing with my life. And so all of a sudden songs just started coming out because I'd never really been able to write songs before, and was going to those open mics, and I ran into Elliot, and I don't know if she was in such dire straits as me of having such like an existential angst crisis, but
you were not yet 30. You were actually, I think you were 29 when we first started the band, but it's the same thing. 29 is 30.
31, yeah.
It's just
we started the band right before your birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you're still 90. But no, I mean, it's funny, like playing in an open mic scene. Like I had just graduated college, and I had stayed in Berlin because I was studying abroad, and I brought my guitar with me, and I played guitar like sort of throughout high school and whatnot, but nothing super serious. And I studied theater, so I've done performance, like the live performance arts, for a long time. But certainly focusing on music was super new to me, and I loved it. And you know, it's like, if you know, like being a part of an open mic scene is such a specific thing. And Chris and I were showing up. It wasn't like we were just going like once a month. You know what I mean? Like, we weren't just like dabbling. We were there every freaking Sunday.
And then doing the Monday night at Arkanoa.
Yeah, and like, you know, when you go to an open mic every week, it's kind of beautiful because you really are a part of this intimate community of musicians, whether you like their music or not.
Yeah.
And you know, especially in Berlin, like you've just got, you know, it's a huge city. You've got some really eccentric people. And like there was this one guy that would open up usually. His name was Blue Jim, and Chris would just roll his eyes so hard whenever he came up on stage.
It just seemed like
he was basically improvising it sounded like he was improvising his song, like he was making it up as he's saying it. And sometimes he'd have like a ukulele. I mean, I thought it was amazing, but I love like experimental performance stuff. So I was like, this is genius. This guy could be making so much money in New York.
I mean, I credit Berlin because there were so many people who, like with experimentation, sometimes you get really cool stuff, but then again, sometimes you get really, really awfulness.
Yeah.
And that gave me the confidence of like, you know what, like maybe my song sucks. I don't know. I'll never know. Like, I mean, I remember Guy Clark quoting saying, you don't know if a song's finished until you played it in front of people. And so it's like, all right, there's no way what I've done is as bad as what that guy just did. I can go up there because hopefully everybody's still reeling from whatever the hell they just saw. And that's
how we cut our teeth, you know. Mm-hmm. And even we would do that a little bit with Volk when we first started. We were both playing acoustic guitars, and Chris was sometimes on electric. Right, and I had a basically a plank of wood that I nailed a tambourine to, and I would like sort of stomp on it, and probably sounded a little bit more like Shovels and Rope in our early days.
Yeah, that's kind of like what explains the name, because I don't know, well, we like wanted to be electric and have big loud drums, but at that time we were like, this is basically folk music. And so you got folk music plus hopefully the voltage folk.
It's kind of like the
makes sense.
Yeah,
love it.
Exactly. But you know, it grew a lot since then. It's grown a lot since then, and like I started playing the drums, and we got louder and louder, and that's one of the huge reasons why we left Berlin. As like many big cities, you know, venues were closing down and there was less space to truly experiment and get loud. And I think that still kind of rings true. I mean, every city's a bit different. We've got like the Springwater, which is like, if you haven't played Springwater in Nashville, like I'm like, you're not a band. Yeah. Like you can't call yourself a band. It's just like the Dives. I think Shovels and Rope even mention it in one of their songs.
They're big hit.
Anyway, so you know, then we came back to the States, and it was like another level of cutting our teeth, you know, especially as a band. And I think we've grown the most since we've been here, which has only been about 5 years.
That definitely solidified us of what we call ourselves now as cowpunk, because you know, we like, okay, yeah, we love, you know, the folksy parts of country and things like that, and the songwriters, but then we started getting into the more like twang stuff with Dwight Yoakam and Hank and Waylon Jennings, and kind of, maybe I guess if you want to kind of poppier, like he was like, oh yeah, I'll throw some George Strait or Alan Jackson on now. I don't mind. I mean, I hated it when I was a kid, but it's like now I appreciate it much more. And so I think, and then like kind of the spectacle of it, and that's kind of explains like our attire now,
which we love. Yeah. You know, we love a good show, and we're slowly starting to mix in some of our like sort of like slower songs like Old Palestine into our live show, which we've done for like those 3-hour brewery sets, right? It's like we play those shows, and that's not foreign to us, but you know, a 45-minute Volk show is like a melt your face show, like, you know.
I've seen you guys twice, and it's awesome. Great show. I've seen you at we're in Indianapolis, or just south of there. I've seen you at Duke's and at the Hi-Fi. I believe you opened up for Charlie Crockett, if I don't remember right.
Yeah.
Yes, great show. And I didn't know about you until that show, the Charlie Crockett show.
Nice.
I was like, these guys are awesome. Then you did the cover of Snake Farm. I was like, I love them.
Thank you. Yeah, that was just like again of just like being thankful to our influences, of that we were able to in there with songs that like, okay, this makes sense to open for Charlie Crockett. But then like we, you know, like next month we're going to be rolling around with Electric Six. And it's really cool to me, at least, is that we can be so dynamic and have opportunities to play where other bands can't play. I think we were just talking last night, like, man, we should take some of our like acoustic songs and record them, and then we can be able to like open up for like other artists who we very much admire, who
Right.
I don't know if Gregory Alan Isaacoff would be into us like opening for him with Welcome to Cashville.
Yeah.
Like,
This,
hey man, still my thunder.
it's this thin line as a band I found, because we're slowly evolving to hire other people basically to help us, but we've done everything essentially up to this point on our own. And there really is a great distance you can go just by asking for things like politely and honestly and earnestly. And like we basically asked, the hi-fi, like we played indie a couple times a bunch of times. So we're like, we have like fans there, definitely. Like we would just absolutely love to open for Charlie Crockett. And they thought of it, they mulled it over, and then they finally got back to us and they were like, hell yeah, let's do it. But that's basically because we asked, like
Yeah.
or less. And like the Snake Farm song, we wouldn't have put that on the record without Ray Wiley's blessing. Like we straight up emailed once we had it recorded, we emailed it to him and his wife. And we were like, yeah, Mother Hubbard. And we were like, how do y'all feel about this cover? Because if you don't like it, we're not putting it on this album. And Ray Wiley was just like, that's badass.
That's awesome. I'm sure that was a cool thing to hear back from them.
What we're excited about with the release of the album is that it kind of does showcase all of the things that we can do in a live set, or like what people like, we can do the hard rocking thing, we can do the honky tonking, and we can come out, like even just like a more, subtle acoustic song and things like that. Which we're pretty, it took 6 years, and a lot of broken strings, broken amps.
We're still there.
A lot of having to get the brakes on the car fixed, and yeah, but it's been awesome, and we're really excited that it's out there, and we're excited to take it on the road and have all the opportunities that are kind of opening up for us.
Yeah, it's I think the whole album flows well, how it's tracked, and then finishing it off with the simple Western song. I love that. Yeah. The intro is awesome, though. Welcome to Cashville just sets you up. You got expensive taste with those white alligator boots.
Yeah.
I love it.
Right.
What came first, the song or the?
Oh, sorry.
What came first, the song or the album concept? Like did you write "Welcome to Cashville" and thought, oh, that's got to be the ticket?
Well, what's funny is "Welcome to Cashville" was originally written as like a "fuck you" to Berlin.
It was called "Fuck You, Berlin." We were leaving because we had kind of accepted that
and it's about it's kind of like it began as a song about Berlin and just like not being able to play actual live music and live rock and roll, and Europe still has this huge DJ culture, right? Like that's
right.
Kind of their social going out scene. So we were upset with that, but once we came here and spent a couple years in Nashville, it kind of evolved to this okay, no, fuck you to Nashville, the music industry, which doesn't want live music anymore. At least it sounds
or it's almost worse because it's live, but it's cover bands.
Or it's live, but it's tracked beats and who's actually playing any of this,
Yeah.
Very manufactured, very cookie cutter, factory farming of songwriters, which is probably more depressing.
Yeah.
I don't know, we're not ragging. I don't want to rag on the EDM culture and stuff like that in Berlin. There's a place for it. It's just we couldn't really find our spot in Berlin.
Right.
But yeah, the Cashville, it definitely, it came, it kind of just was this natural flow of things, and we recorded the song, and we had already made our label head do the little part on Honeybee on the EP, and it's oh, we should make him do something again. And we always joke about him being this kind of boss hog character of
which
go make me, which he is. It's go make me money. And so it's we doing this this, and just because we just love poking fun at this idea, like kind of silly nonsense of the label and this money factory thing that music has become. And then it just kind of laid it out itself. We had those songs, we recorded them, not really much with an idea of what the order was when we recorded them. We just went in just saying like, we're just going to record song by song the songs that we feel the strongest of the best road worn, because we played them for so long. And those 10 songs just kind of all came out. But it was kind of funny. The Simple Western song, actually, that recording was just supposed to be a demo. We were just like, oh, let's try this out. And then it's like, oh, actually, this really sounded great. Let's just keep it. And it's supposed to be, I didn't really do it well when I set it up on like for the Spotify and the CDs, because it's a different experience on the vinyl because it's set up as a secret track. So like you don't see it, because I really wanted to do that because I missed those from like the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm 34,
like,
so I've grown in the 90s. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I remember like listening to Dookie by Green Day, and All By Myself comes on all of a sudden, or like and Disgustipated comes on, like, you know, it's like, I think it's like track 99 or something like that.
Right. And you'd have to hold and try not to hit fast forward all the way on the CDs once that started going.
Yeah. So we wanted to do something like that. So it's kind of almost, it's actually kind of a cool thing for people who do get the vinyl. A cool experience in that it's treated like that, which is now in the Spotify world.
Yeah. That's awesome. We have, go ahead.
I was just thinking about that today when I was like listening to a band I enjoyed from the 2000s, of like, they had one track that was going into the other track, basically like that. It's like, that's kind of a problem with Spotify. It's like, it doesn't work that way, because like if you're just shuffling songs and things like that, the transition thing doesn't work anymore, and you lose the album experience.
Exactly.
Yeah. We're all about that. Holy shit. It's raining.
Oh no.
It's not that bad yet. We normally do these crazy flyby questions and take as much time as you want, or there can be quick answers. You might have two different answers since there's two of you, but what's an artist that you would like to work with? Somebody out there that, you know, you admire, you might reach out to and maybe collaborate with?
Linda Perry.
Yeah.
Linda Perry. Whoops.
Yeah.
She
wrote What's Going On, and she's like transitioned to being like a very sought after producer. She did like Pink stuff.
She's doing an album right now, Surfboard, which is like a really cool punk band based in LA, and she's just awesome. She's got that crazy hat now. Like if you saw her, you'd probably recognize her. She's kind of
the lady goes like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Yeah, I just watched that.
She's
reaction
awesome.
video.
Character, and like very just, I think there's just something appealing that appeals to us, of her like just, I'm doing what I'm doing, fuck everybody else, you know. and she lives here in Nashville, and Cashville around, like, you know, like she will, you know, not sugarcoat anything. Maybe so. Like, I'm glad that you said Linda Perry, because I was just like, oh man, I want to say Linda Perry, but I also do kind of want to say Shooter Jennings.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's killing the producing game. Good God, it's just like, I don't know, like Brandy Carlisle's like album with him was just, it took her to another level, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Like listening to her music, she's already this like legend, you know, but he just has that ear, and like his work with Jamie Wyatt, like, come on, that's freaking.
I know, it's
like,
crazy.
That music's just killer. So, yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna have to move this party inside. It's coming down. I'm under a tree.
Shit.
Should we?
I'm gonna log off and give me like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Oh God.
We were trying to play a show in Wichita, and that thing got rained out hard.
Oh, it did.
Which one?
It was Wichita, Kansas.
Oh yeah,
and it was only supposed to be like a little 15-minute scary thing, and it turned into this 2-hour deluge. And
sure did.
The sky was all yellow, and I was like, oh man, I know what yellow skies mean. We better maybe go back inside. But it no tornado appeared, but it was kind of this like scary black cloud things, and the lightning was just continually just jumping everywhere. It didn't stop at all. So I was like, oh man, are we here and for the end of times? This is not where I wanted to be for Armageddon. Like, I want to be like in or Berlin. Berliners will do it, right?
There's
They do New Year's, right?
No.
Yeah, they do.
I've only seen one person get electrocuted on stage. Well, I didn't see him personally. It's on the internet. Band I listened to, I believe they were overseas. I'm not exactly sure where. He straight up starts screaming into a microphone and gets zapped and just falls right over onto the stage. Yeah. He was okay, but
Oof.
My buddy was telling me about seeing Deftones play in New Orleans.
Oh, dude.
Like House of Blues. And he got shocked by the microphone. He got knocked out. He went backstage for a little bit, and he was just like, he took it like a champ. And I was like, man, you guys see me get knocked out? He was like excited about it. I was like, man, I fucking love New Orleans. Yeah, that's very New Orleans.
It really is.
I don't know if you can see my white pony.
Nice.
Yes.
Sweet.
Huge Deftones fan.
I was listening to some white pony earlier today. Actually, it's like, man, I did dig Deftones back in college. I need to listen to them more.
Yeah, their new record's pretty damn good too. Yeah. It kind of a little bit of a throwback to some of that older stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So where did we leave off? Artists to work with. Yes, you were telling us about that.
Linda Perry, and then I said I chose Shooter Jennings.
Oh, you did.
Because along with his just like great ear and like how he works with country artists, I know like listening to his early albums and his background is like he got into music not because of his dad so much. He's upset with Trent Reznor. Like he loves those electronic stuff, and that's kind of something I'm getting more experimental with my guitar rig of trying to create more synthy noises and like moog stuff.
Yeah,
so really like a really cool opportunity to work with him.
That would be an interesting lineup. Are you guys working together? I feel like in today's world with the way music is and the scene and you got to do something to stand out or you just get muddled in with everything else. And you guys are definitely unique. You got a unique sound, you got a unique look, and you're blending all kinds of different stuff together. So I think you guys keep pushing like you have been, and I don't see sky's the limit, you know. I could see that.
Right.
Thank you.
But also, I needed to announce that I'm kicking her out of the band. So.
Wow.
You heard it here first.
I think I just got to take it. I got to take it solo. I think that was the time.
Breaking news.
You know what's funny is like all my favorite concerts, like they have the highs and lows in terms of energy. You know, like they're able to rile you up and then bring you back down and like bring you to tears. You know, and those are my favorite shows. And like to me, that's like the dream. You know, one day we'll be able to do that because. You know, these days it's like everyone's on their phone. Like people don't have as long of like an attention span. Like when you have a show, you kind of just gotta wow them. You know, like people are already like it's already a miracle that they showed up to the freaking venue. So it's like, you know, part of that is like you know you want to. I'm sorry, we have the super annoying truck that's like keeping. Can you hear it?
Yeah,
I'm sure they can hear it.
I'm sorry. He's almost done. What he's doing. But anyway,
we should put out like DMX, like back that thing up.
That was fun. Anyway, so like you know, one day we can do that, and I know we've done that for like 3-hour sets. Like anyone that's seen us play along, like definitely has can appreciate that. But it's harder to do these days.
Right, you're right. There's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of shows you go to, and everyone's jaw jacking. They can't even appreciate. If you're there to watch the music, you better get close because you're in the back. You're screwed.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's funny you mentioned that because of course, thinking about Dukes and thinking about Dustin, I know that one huge thing he wanted was to just focus on the music, and that was the transition that he decided upon. You know, through this year, the pandemic was to switch to it's just shows. Like this isn't a restaurant. Like you're here for the music or you're not here at all. And like that takes you know, that takes a lot of belief in the community, you know, and a belief that like people really are there to lift up the artists, you know, that not every community's there for that. They're there for sports and a beer. And
Right.
oh, look, the guy's playing guitar, you know, like that really, that's to me what makes Duke such an iconic place, you know. It's like it's always
Especially
been
in
about the
Indiana.
yes. Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to say that because I feel like such an important place for us even.
Dustin was somebody who gave us like some of our early opportunities, like on touring, and just like to be able to break into a more country venue.
Mhm.
And they're
Dustin,
strict on that too,
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah, we were
So-
surprised that he let us in because we didn't have any like video evidence to show like, yeah, we can bust out some, you know, some George Strait during a set if you need us to. But yeah, we're gonna miss the hell out of Dustin because he's such an awesome dude, and I know so important for that community.
Yeah.
He let us film our music video there. Like, yeah, man, come on in. It was crazy. It was amazing. And it was an honor, you know. So anyway, yeah.
Garrett, you got the second question for him?
Oh yeah. So this is an ongoing thing between Justin and I. We're trying to settle the score. He gave me a hint earlier that I think maybe one of your votes might go my way, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the other. So Beatles or Stones, if you had to pick a favorite.
See, I think
I
that's
know
what,
my answer, but I think this is what divides Chris
I think
and
that's what I think that's what makes like Volk kind of cool. Yeah, because I was like
I would definitely say Beatles.
Stones, because rock and
Yep.
roll. I don't want to be all pretty all the time.
Mm-mm.
Stones over here.
Do is you know co-opted by what's his name, the not the serial killer, he didn't kill anybody, but yeah,
To be fair, theoretically or technically, the Stones are still a band. So,
Yeah.
you know, like Mick Jagger can still perform with probably, you know, at least half the amount of energy he used to have. And that's a miracle in and of itself.
every day.
That's hilarious.
There's
Okay.
something good about stopping at the top, though. I think the absolute
Yeah.
pinnacle.
Yeah, right.
That's all
Like,
that's your memory. That's it. There's nothing to tarnish it.
God. I love like Paul McCartney will still rub it in to this day. He's like, I'm still trying to write a better song, man. And I'm like, screw you, buddy. You've written more like number ones than like, I don't know. Can I just have one?
Yeah.
Right.
Pass them out.
I just want
Yeah.
I just want to sync licensing. Some college debt.
I hear you. Okay. Another question. What's a guilty pleasure song? Something that somebody wouldn't expect you guys to listen to, or something that you like that the public
Or
wouldn't really.
artists.
Yeah.
I mean, my age is 37. Like everything is like, I don't even think of it as a guilty pleasure almost anymore. It's just like, oh, it's aged well. Like I definitely understand how great of a song "Want to Dance with Somebody" by Whitney Houston is. Like maybe 12-year-old or 13-year-old little Chris would be ashamed.
Yeah. You're not going to admit that to your friends
Like,
when
oh,
you're
you
15.
just gotta listen to rock and roll, man. You just gotta listen to Nirvana and Alice in Chains. But now I've come to appreciate those, like, and like, you know, I'll put that song when I'm by myself.
I'm like if I really just need like a chill atmosphere, I'm a huge Enya fan.
Yeah.
Huge Enya
Oh,
fan.
classic.
So good.
I'm trying to think of a song, or like maybe I would be embarrassed, like, because I'm not embarrassed that people know that. Like, it's like I love Robin, I love Whitney Houston, I love.
Yeah, we will totally jam
Time
out
of
to
Our Lives.
Robin. Like
Yeah.
people should know we like will you know be driving down a highway in Iowa blasting Robin with the windows down and
Yeah.
just like
Talking about like a collaboration, like probably maybe our dream album would be have like Brandon Flowers of the Killers and Robin in a song.
Mm.
Probably
Yeah.
that would probably be
that's another important influence actually.
Yeah, we
like
forgot
the
to mention
Killers is
Killers.
probably another one of our like major influences in terms of like even where we see our sound going, and not so much the poppy stuff that he's done like, you know, as of recent.
Right.
Mhm.
Just like the first 4 albums even of Killers, like this just amazing. You know, we love the worlds that Brandon builds and the whole band builds, and
Yeah.
Totally
And just like
inspirational.
definitely make sure of all different genres. There's some was like, this is a country riff, or this is a or pop dance riff, and it could be in the same song. So those are like goals, and like
He just released a Dustland Fairy Tale, Bruce Springsteen.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah, love that song.
Forget what the question was.
Guilty pleasure songs and bands. And
So the next one is if you could wake up tomorrow, play an instrument you don't currently play, but you play it flawlessly, what would it be?
Violin. I love the violin.
People are gonna hate
Good
me,
one.
but I might have to say the banjo.
That's totally
yeah.
I got where you were gonna say ukulele.
Some people really like banjo, and I don't know why. But my boyfriend's a huge bluegrass fan, so we love to go see Sam Bush. We're gonna see the Traveling McCurry's next week. Like, I go hard for bluegrass. It's amazing. Like,
Oh yeah.
almost nothing better than like being at an outdoor festival like Romp in Kentucky, listening to bluegrass. Like, oh my God, saw Ricky Skaggs 2 years ago. This is stupid. That guy.
Nice.
Of course, you can do
Very.
this when you're 6 years old. No one plays that well. This is dumb. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find it to be a very versatile instrument. Like there's like with bluegrass, but like I love the stuff that like John Stevens will do with his banjo,
Mhm.
True. That's true. Yeah.
and Gregory Alan Isaacoff.
Yep. I have a list of banjo players that I love. I play a little bit myself. Not that I'm any good,
Nice.
but I like clawhammer style, more old timey.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
But well, you could have picked a different instrument. Nick Shoulders, he was on. He picked the bagpipes.
Oh wow.
He's like, I'm gonna go
You know
annoy the hell out of the city, walking up and down the street.
Yeah, right. I guess now that you say that, like, now I think of all the other ones, like accordion or horns, but banjo just like it's just got that sound, you know. It's so unique.
A horn instrument would be pretty cool, like a saxophone, trumpet.
Oh yeah.
It's so hard.
That's-
Those are hard instruments.
That's
They're
also
massive.
that might be another folk band goal is to like create some horns. I think like because also like making
Virgil
fun of
got
the-
you on that one.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, then you just realize like, oh, this is very integral to things like that you would love, like Al Green or Otis Redding and things like that.
Oh
So
yeah.
Yeah.
start to realize their importance. But like we have joked about like it would be really funny just to like because we make fun of like certain like the Nashville like also just the money thing of just like how everybody does tend to just like there's a trend and everybody just jumps to it.
Everyone
Yeah.
wants to sound like
Like, let me put the stand-up bass in a steel pedal on this, and then I'll write a song about a lake in Montana. Like, there's also the thing of like, so we just want to like go like ridiculously balls to the wall at a show where we like have like all the things like the steel pedal, but also have like
horn section.
Sound like. What's the German, or it's not German, but like the thing you tap,
The Glockenspiel.
like a xylophone and things like that, just like ridiculous.
You
And
have
just
a
like,
whole damn symphony.
yeah,
One day, man. One day.
but just like
The
basically,
weirdest symphony
yes,
would be so
yes,
cool.
yeah.
The last question we got for this little section is what would you say just a good time is for you guys? Say it's a Saturday night, you can do anything you want. You can, keep it chill at the house, or are you going out to some techno party like you were in Berlin or what?
It did
Oh,
happen.
we were not cool enough to get into most places in
Oh,
Berlin.
well,
face
cool.
control.
But there was plenty of I graduated college. There was plenty of seeing the sunrise. But we've got this bonfire. We actually like live in this house. It's a duplex. So I live on the top floor and Chris lives on the bottom floor. We've got this pretty sick bonfire out here. And we'll just invite our friends over, and if we're lucky, they'll bring their instruments and we'll kind of just have a little jam in the back. And I particularly love that.
My roommate has a projector, and we'll like choose like really bad films like Leprechaun and Mac and just do like our own like Mystery Science Theater 3000. Last
Love it.
Sunday we did Nobody came, but we did a Rhinestone with Sylvester Stallone and Dolly
And
Parton.
Pardon.
And
Yeah.
like, man, like I could try to do an impression of Sylvester Stallone singing and just try to just make inaudible noises. That doesn't do justice of how bad it was of him to sing.
I forgot he's in that. I don't know why.
Yeah, he's the star. And the chemistry between him and Dolly Parton is just like non-existent. It's a really awkward film.
Ooh.
But I loved it. I mean, for me, I just, especially over the pandemic, I just really got into just watching movies with my girlfriend and hanging out with my cats. Like, that's a good Saturday night for me.
Yeah. That's awesome.
We
I'm
got
the
lame.
same way.
Wow.
I mean, Elliot's lame. I'm awesome.
Yeah. So what's next for you guys? Hitting the road hard?
This is all that is next for the
Yeah.
rest of the
For the
year.
rest of our life.
We have to probably have like, we're gonna be buying like a lot of gifts and things for our like significant others.
But yeah,
Like we're never gonna see you guys again.
We're touring a lot. We're opening for Electric Six next month, starting July 7th. And you can find all those dates and tickets on our website, livevolk.com/tour. And we're doing Mile of Music Fest this year, which is in Appleton, Wisconsin. It is amazing, and it is 100% free. It's probably one of the favorite festivals we've ever played. We're doing Log Jam Fest. Lily Mae's playing that one, in the Hoot and Hollers.
Mhm.
And
Yeah. I love
another
Hoot and Holler.
run. Yeah, they're awesome. God, they're awesome. And then we've got another pretty big run coming up in October, and I don't think we're allowed to announce it yet.
Yeah.
But it'll be super fun. So yeah, we're
You-
busy. It's
You
good
should
to be
be able
busy.
to find us on the road, especially in the Midwest,
For the foreseeable future.
for the foreseeable future.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah, this is what
This is
what
what we
this
wanted,
is the dream.
and it's better than sitting at home trying to figure out unemployment and things like that. So,
Elton John's like, hey man, let me go on tour and make my retirement fun.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
sure.
No one's buying albums anymore.
Exactly. The record, the vinyls are coming back at least. People are buying those. Got to slap some
Totally.
good album art on it, and people, drawn
I
to
know.
it.
We are all sold out of the first pressing of Cashville, which is amazing.
Oh wow.
So
I'm gonna try and whenever I can see the dates, I'm gonna track you guys down and have you sign a copy for me.
nice.
oh yeah.
I think I saw indie added recently.
Yeah, I have to
We
look.
got it's a weird existence now having a booker, because I was the booker for 3 years, and now just like not knowing intimately where we're going to be 6 months down the road is a weird experience.
Yeah.
But kind of nice also. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw indie on there in the next couple months.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Any more questions, Garrett, before we let him go?
I think I'm good.
We're totally
I get
back
some.
here. All right,
Thank you
guys.
guys. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it. We'll have you on again in the future if you guys are willing and
Yeah,
chat some
totally.
more.
Yeah.
Totally. Absolutely.
All right. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you guys.
Cool.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Bye
all.
guys.